Fox Sports 1670's Bill Shanks and 41 NBC's Tucker Sargent are covering some of Georgia's top teams in this week's Rant and Rave.
From college football to the Atlanta Falcons to a certain Atlanta Brave and his questionable performance this year. Take a look.
Issue 1, what's the biggest thing we learned from the college football week 1 this past weekend? I tell you what, Tucker, I've got to say, I learned that Alabama's the real deal. I mean, I knew they were going to be good, but I never could have thought they were going to blow out Michigan. And how about Tennessee? That's kind of a surprise, too. They look good against NC State. One thing I'm not surprised about, your Auburn Tigers. They're awful.
Yeah, Alabama, before the season I said they'd be really good this year, but I didn't think they'd be that good either. They came out and they just dominated Michigan in every aspect of the game. Eddie Lacy and the new guy, TJ Yeldon, who was an Auburn guy but switched over to Alabama. He's looking good for them. They're going to be good. And another surprise for me was Oklahoma. Not really a surprise, though. Choklahoma is what I like to call them, but ESPN, all those guys always love them. But they had to score 14 points in the last quarter to beat UTEP.
Yeah, that was a surprise. All right, issue 2, Georgia and Missouri this Saturday night out west in Missouri for the first conference game for that program. How will Georgia do? Can they beat Missouri on the road? I say no, Tucker. I say there's just no way. I mean, they looked awful the other day. They looked bad. They didn't look like they were ready to go for the season. The fans were ready and excited for the season. The Bulldogs were not, and they've got all these injuries and suspensions. They're not going to beat Missouri out there.
Yeah, you just told me you were worried about it, but I think Georgia's going to go out there and knock off the new guys in the SEC. Earlier this week, one of Missouri's defensive tackles said Georgia plays old man football, and Bill, if you don't think that's going to fire Georgia up going out there, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well, you're right about that, but I don't know. It was kind of bad the other day. All right, issue 3, Falcons start the season this week. How will they do in 2012? I say they're going to win the division. I think it's time for this team to take that next step and play well in the regular season and get to the playoffs and finally win a playoff game. So I'm excited about the season for the Falcons, Tucker. I think they're going to be very good.
Bill, I think they're going to do good this year, but I don't think they're going to win the division. Even though Sean Payton's out for the year for the Saints, they still have Drew Brees back there. They're still going to be really good. And my boy Cam Newton at the Panthers. They're going to be a kind of a wild card in there this year if they can get that defense going. But the Falcons, I think they win 10 games. They do win a playoff game this year, but I don't think they can win the division.
Saints stink. All right, finally a little Braves talk in here. Did Freddie Gonzalez, the manager of the Braves, make a good decision to bench Dan Uggla? We better not be disagreeing about this, Tucker. Yes, he made a great decision. This guy's been hitting like 1-something for the last 3 months. I know he's making a lot of money. I know he's a veteran, but if you don't produce, you need to sit down on the bench.
Yeah, Bill. Dan Uggla, everybody hates him when he's out there recently. He throws balls in the stands when he's on defense. As you said, he's struggling at the plate, too, hitting something like 152 since June 13th. If you're a Major League Baseball player and you're hitting that low, why didn't they bench him a long time ago is my question. I think Dan Uggla deserved to be benched a long time ago, and hopefully he can improve while he's sitting and watching games and be ready for the playoffs if they make it.
Martin Prado back where he belongs at second base. All right, we'll see you on Friday night at 11:15 for the End Zone, presented by Safe Auto.